All right, y'all. Back with Sheila. Just gonna give a quick recap of the weekend, and then I actually already ordered a bunch of parts and tools and stuff to make some more improvements and fix some things and some lessons that we learned. So just to give a quick recap of the weekend, the race is still on my YouTube. If you go to the live section, you can find our practice day, which was eventful, our Saturday race, which was pretty mellow, and then our Sunday race, which we actually got our first top 5 in, that we're super duper excited about. There were a lot of competitive cards at the Glen, and for us to finish top 5 at our second race ever is awesome. So it just goes to show that the lessons we're learning and the stuff that we're applying to this car is actually working. So, however, the biggest lesson I learned in practice on Friday is it's not a race, it's a practice. So there was a Mustang, a Section 8, I think is the team name. They're a bunch of it's an arrive and drive team from what I understand. So I'm assuming it was a driver that didn't know the course, didn't really know the track too well. Whatever the excuse is, he was driving slow, and coming into the carousel at the Glen, I waited and I decided to try and pass him on the inside coming out of the turn. And he stayed track right for whatever reason. Again, new driver, whatever. Basically he contacted we contacted at my left rear, and broke the wheel, which then rotated the car this way. And then basically I backed it into the wall exiting the turn, here in the rear, which is the worst of the damage. Caught the bash bar, tail lights. It pushed, like, the wing was all bent in. Luckily, we were able to get it pretty much straightened out. But you can see there's a big wrinkle here. The body's pretty rough right now. So, since that's part of the unibody, and I don't have a frame machine here, I'm trying to contact a body shop to get that fixed and pulled and straightened out. Not really worried about it being perfect. I'd like to have the panels somewhat straight back there. So I'm working on that, and then up here, so basically that kissed the wall first, and then the front end rotated in, and I had contact up here, broke the headlight, and then dented this fender in, and obviously messed up the bumper, and broke our splitter as well. So I've already kind of started working. I took this fender off and hammered it somewhat straight. I think my rule to myself is I'm going to do the minimal amount of body repair during the season because there is so much contact in this series. So I'm just straightening out the panel, and then, maybe I'll replace it over the winter or something like that. I replaced our little body mount here, and then this was our temporary solution for the race, just to have a headlight. I just ran to Advanced Auto and grabbed that thing, and the team wired it in, and it worked. So it passed tech. They were happy enough with it. So, but I've got a new headlight on the way. I actually already got a new taillight. The splitter, we made a new one, but it's out of like pine, and it already got wet and warped. And we also, there was a muffler on track that I already messed up this one. So it was a temporary fix. I'm going to get some actual like good birch, cut it out properly, and then seal it this time and probably reinforce it a little bit more. I need to come up with a more permanent solution to attach our radiator ducting here. I just zip tied it up there. That also broke in our crash. But that's everything on the front end. Like I said, the rear end, I'm trying to work with a body shop right now to get it fixed. But they're being kind of wishy-washy with me, which is frustrating. Apparently, they're very busy right now. And so I said, hey, well, can you get me on the schedule just so we have a date, even if it's not before Nelson Ledges? They're basically like, yeah, I don't know, we'll give you a call. We're kind of talking it over, and I don't know, maybe because it's a race car or it's a racer-owned body shop. They seem like really nice people. I want to have a plan figured out, and that's the only thing I'm not sure about right now. So we might be running it at Nelson with the messed up rear end. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to realign the car and everything before we go. So yeah, it is what it is. But today, basically, we're working on a few things that have showed up. These are new stickers once I get the new bash bar in. The bash bar is not here and the back end's not straight. So that one might have to wait. I got some heat shield, this like stick-on heat shield stuff. Our right foot gets really hot when driving. So my hope, and that's because the exhaust runs, you know, the transmission tunnel's right there and the exhaust is running right past your feet. So I'm hoping to put this on the inside of the transmission tunnel and maybe alleviate some of that heat. Another solution that I might try if this doesn't, you know, work well enough for us is just wrapping the exhaust in that area, using some exhaust wrap. I need to measure all of our tires because I'm not sure how much the alignment messed up our tire wear, so I need to make sure, I need to see how our tires wore, and then verify how many good tires and how many bad tires we have. Roll the fenders. We actually had a tire cut down. It didn't fully pop, but by the end of the race, the sidewall was damaged enough that we didn't want to use it anymore. It was our front left, so I bought a fender roller, and I'm going to actually roll our fenders. You can see we made a real quick fix during a pit stop with a crowbar and dented up my brand new fender here, so that'll probably get replaced over the winter. But for now, I'm going to roll that side, and roll the rears as well, just to be safe. And then ChampCar started talking about how they were going to crack down on janky battery terminal cover-ups, which is exactly what we have right now. So going to do some actual battery terminal covers. New taillight that I can't put on yet because the back end's still out of whack. Registration stuff. Can't remember what's in this guy. New toe stickers for the new bash bar whenever it shows up. I got a hard mount for our transponder so I can mount it properly rather than just zip tying it and praying. And our the new window defrost that I put on is peeling up in one area, so I got this to hopefully try and stick it on there and fix it. So I'm gonna go ahead and organize the shop a little bit more. We just kind of tossed stuff in here when we got back, and get the jacks all set up and get the car up in the air. So talk to you in a while. Okie dokie, we got wheels off. And I think I'm just gonna roll them. I'm not gonna worry about heating up the paint or anything because obviously the paint's already in garbage condition, and this fender's gonna get replaced anyway. So, yeah, I've never done this the right way before. Definitely used a baseball bat. Done that method before, but I'm gonna get this put on the hub and show you how I'm planning to set it up. Again, I'm just kind of like winging this. But it seems pretty straightforward. I'll do this one first since it's already pretty much mangled. But just throw the rim, or throw the fender roller on the axle, and then you just kind of adjust some things and work it back and forth. So that's what we're gonna do here. I'm gonna get it all mounted up and then I'll check back in. All right, so I got it on there. Looks like it's made for multiple bolt patterns. Also, yeah, this is just generic Amazon. I think it was 40 bucks, maybe 50. Comes disassembled. You kind of put it together by eyeballing it. Wasn't too terribly hard. If you're working on cars, I think you'd be handy enough to get it on here. But I've got it on here, and then I think I'm just gonna kind of match this wheel up to the fender. Like I said, this one we kind of already pushed in, but maybe I can smooth it out a little bit. Kind of match the angle of the wheel up, and then you just tighten this guy until it's pushing on it, and then you just rock it back and forth. So we'll see what happens here. All right, learned a couple things rapid fire. We bent it up wrong at the track, so I had to like bend it back and then bend it back. I don't know if this is because it's a cheap fender or what. I wasn't worried about it to begin with, but you see how the paint's like definitely flaking on the edge here. It could also be due to damage from the last time we were here. Sorry, it's hot and I'm like getting all sweaty over here, just trying to clean myself up. But and then since we don't have a steering wheel lock, when I go to roll it forward, the wheel turns forward, and when I go to roll it back, it starts to turn back. So just kind of having to work with that, but that's just a race car thing. If you have a steering wheel lock or someone to hold the wheel for you, you should be all right. But yeah, so I'm gonna finish this side up and then work around to the other sides and I'll check in if I have any other weird issues or anything like that. But this tool makes things pretty straightforward. It's nice. Okay, so just taking a quick break here. Just started doing the rears. So I figured this was a good time to kind of show, I'm not sure who watches these videos. So if you already know, feel free to skip ahead, but just trying to show what fender rolling is. So basically we had a set of tires. I think they're easy to grab back here. Yeah, this set where we had, like, you can see those cuts, and you can hear me kind of peeling up. The sheet metal of the front left fender was cutting into that tire, and if it was bad enough, it will like pop your tire. So what fender rolling is rolling that inside lip of that sheet metal flush so that it won't hit your tire. Although we didn't have issues in the rear with this Miata, I bought the tool, I've got the time, so I'm just going to be safe than sorry. But just to show you what it was like before, don't mind the rust. It's probably going to snap off when I go to roll this side, but this is what it's like before. So with really wide tires, which we're not even at the widest we can get yet, but with wide tires, this will start cutting into your tire, which you can see. We used a crowbar just to kind of do a trackside fix for this fender, but I just went back there and rolled it. So I'm going to do this last one right now, and then keep checking stuff off the list. So talk to you in a few. Okie dokie. Fenders are rolled. The next step, or next on my list, if you can see in here, that's our transponder. I have a old, I think it's Tranex 260. It's a rechargeable transponder. And every race, I just charge it before the race, and it lasts, I think, up to like 4 days. And so right before the race, I take it off the charger, and we've been zip tying it right there with 3 separate zip ties. And it's been working really well. We don't have to take it back out. However, I would like to come up with a more permanent solution. So I found some of these, or I guess one of these on eBay. I can't remember the seller, but it's a MyLapse mount that makes a quick disconnect. So I think I'm gonna maybe rivet it somewhere and then also zip tie it. And then that way we'll have a little quick disconnect for our transponder rather than a permanent solution. So I'm gonna get that cut off and find a place to put this guy. The thing is, it needs to have a good clear view of the ground is what they say. I think it's just no metal objects because we haven't had any issues with our splitter being in the way. So I don't know if I'm gonna mount it the same position. I might find somewhere else, but it's gotta be accessible. So we'll see what I come up with. Yeah, talk to you in a bit. All right, here's what I did, or am doing. I found this little plastic shield, thinking, I'm now realizing it was like a splash guard for the alternator. So it might have been a good idea to leave that on there. But I'm not going to. I went ahead and utilized one of the holes for the bottom hole of this transponder mount. And I drilled a new one for the top. You can see it's kind of crooked because the alternator was in the way, but I think it'll work. And I'm going to rivet it on there. Is that the best solution? I'm not sure, but it's what I'm going to rock with. I will check it before every event and after. But yeah, I'm realizing that if I lose my transponder, like, that's a big deal. Because A, they're expensive, and B, your race is done. Like, that's the worst mechanical you can have. So I'm going to drive around with it probably on there like this and just see how it works and if it loosens up. But I think rivets will work. I wish I could also throw zip ties in there, but beggars can't be choosers. So I'm going to go and get those rivets going and test it out, see what I think. All right, it's in there. Feels pretty freaking solid to me. It's kind of a nice little setup. So I think they still use it for the new ones. That's why I was able to get this bracket. But it's just one little safety pin, then comes out just like that. So riveted on there, like I said, it's not moving. And it should pick up. We used to have it mounted here, now we have it mounted there. I would think it would still pick up, but we will find out at our next event. But like I said, I'm not too overly concerned about it. So let's see. think I'm gonna work on doing the heat shielding around the exhaust next. So I'm gonna visualize this and then check back in. Okie dokie, quick update. I got this stick-on like heat shield stuff on, I think, Amazon, I don't know. And I thought the adhesive would be a little bit stronger. Basically, the problem is our right foot is getting super hot. Sorry, I had a bug on me. It's getting super hot when driving. And that's because our headers come out right down there. So you can kind of see it from here. Actually, this might be a better way to show you because I don't think I'll get a good angle from under the car. I tried to take a sheet of this and stick it on the inside of the transmission tunnel. The adhesive's not that strong and the transmission tunnel is covered in gunk. I tried cleaning it, but there's no way I'm gonna get it clean enough to get this to stick well. So what I did instead, and what I probably should have done from the beginning, is I used it as kind of like an exhaust wrap. I took it and wrapped the shiny side, so the non-sticky side, towards the exhaust, and just wrapped it up and then used metal zip ties on the outside of it. So it's kind of jank, but I figured since I already bought this stuff and I had metal zip ties laying around, I'd give it a shot. I don't foresee it working all too well, but if it does work well or it does fall off or whatever, I can try reattacking it with actual exhaust wrap rather than doing this kind of jerry-rigged way. I think what I would do next time is buy a roll of exhaust wrap and then take the like test pipe, down pipe, whatever you want to call that thing. I would take that off and then I would take that off and then wrap it off of the car and do a really good job with it. But hindsight's 2020, so we're gonna run what we have right now, and I'll probably reattack it in the future. So now I'm gonna move on to doing the windshield repair, just to kind of show you the issue so that you can kind of see it here. This, oh, you can't because of the glare. Maybe you see how it's stuck well there, and there it's just kind of floating. So the contact's still made. I just need to get that ribbon. It doesn't necessarily need to contact the windshield because if we don't get perfect defogging over here, who cares? But what it does need to do is not break. It needs to retain continuity. So I'm gonna try and jerry rig some. I got like a defrost windshield repair kit, and I'm gonna try and jerry rig something up. So we'll see what I come up with, but fingers crossed. So I don't want to get my hopes up too much, but might have gotten lucky. I tried just like pushing it. I mean, it's not straight, but I tried just like pushing it back down with my nail, and noticed that it stuck pretty well. So I'm thinking maybe if I just like, and I did it to the other areas around it, just to make sure those ones are stuck down too. But it's mainly this one. But I'm thinking if I let it cure to the windshield for a while, maybe it'll fix itself. I guess that's kind of hopeful. But otherwise, I have the kit if I want to do it, but I'd rather not mess with it and have it work the way it was designed before I start getting my hands on it. So I'm going to leave that like that for an hour or two, check it, and then if it's working, I'll leave it till the next time I come to the shop. And yeah, so next stop is proper battery terminal covers. So I hate how that hits the wing now, but it's because it's all bent up, but I'll get over it. Can I turn the flash on after I'm already recording? No, I cannot. Oh, but the low light works really well. So currently just have tape on the battery terminal covers. I'm going to replace it with actual covers. So let's try one of these. You ready? Kind of hard to snap with gloves on, and my generator ran out of power, so now we're on the headlamp. But we got our generic little battery covers on here. And funnily enough, so obviously everything's crooked in here because this is where the impact happened. There was a lap or two where I had power cuts, and I wasn't sure what was causing it, and I found the cause. The positive cable of the battery here was grounding out on the battery tie down. It was, yeah. Literally, as I was taking off, it was crazy sparks and stuff. So, yeah, these are probably a good addition. I don't know how much they'd really help with that problem. But, now I know. I'm surprised. I'm glad we were able to finish the race like that. But, I'm glad I figured that out. So, yeah, got the battery covers on there. Everything's protected. And now we're out of gas in the generator. So I think I'm going to look for the paint marker, take some measurements on all our tires, and see what we're working with, so I can decide whether we need new tires, or you know, how many new tires we need. Forgot that was kind of hard to close. And I might call it a night because it's starting to get dark, and maybe I'll run out and get gas and drop some gas off here. But I would like to organize more. It's kind of a mess in here. I have a stack of about 8 wheels that I'd like to sell, but they're all the way in the corner, and I keep being too lazy to get them. I've got an engine block that's probably no good. Bunch of BS back here, so need to do some housekeeping here in the near future as well. Just trying to make sure the car is ready to go. So anyways, I'm gonna start cleaning up here, and I'll check back in when I'm measuring the tires, kind of show you what I'm thinking there. So see you in a bit. Okay, so this is my first time doing like this to this extent. I've got a tire depth gauge. I don't know, it's like I don't know what you'd call this thing. A tire gauge, sure. And I just put a piece of masking tape on here. I would like to do this with a paint marker, but I can't seem to find mine. I think it got stolen by one of my teammates. So I did front right, set 2, because this is the set that's coming off the car, aka the set that ran the second race. I'll probably label the barrels or something at some point, set 1, set 2. But then I did an inside, a middle, and an outside. I did millimeters because I like millimeters. I think inches are stupid. I know we do like 30 seconds or something like that in America, but millimeters make more sense to me. So I went off of these divots, and I took a few just to see that, make sure that they were all kind of uniform for the insides and outsides, and then the middle I just went off of the rain stipends, or I don't know, tread, whatever you want to call these here. And yeah, so based off this, I've got 3.4 on the inside, 5 in the middle, and 4.1 on the outside. So what this is telling me, and we'll see how this looks around the car, we're running too much camber, and not enough pressure. Because the middle value is higher than the inside and outside. That means that the tire, there's tons of information on this, but it basically means the tire is kind of creating a U on the road, and it's not creating a flat contact patch. So we need to add a little bit more pressure to get a more flat contact patch, and then remove, which is interesting, a little bit of camber, so we wear that outer edge a little bit more. So, but all in all, these numbers aren't terrible, especially with the crash. We didn't have a time to do a full alignment of the car. So, yeah, maybe I'm going to do a full alignment before our next event. So I'll try and pull some camber out, and we'll see what it's set at and see how far out of whack it got and whatnot. So that's for another video. So anyways, I'm gonna start packing up. I probably look like a goofball, but thank you for watching. As always, you know, trying to share this information. I'm figuring it out as I go. I'm still very new at this, but we're having a ton of fun. Other than the damage, very frustrating. The more I work on the car, the more frustrated I'm getting, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to get it all figured out. And I mean, no matter what, we'll be at Nelson Ledges, and the car will drive straight. It might not look pretty, but it'll drive straight. So thanks for stopping in. It's probably gonna be a long one, so if you made it this far, thanks for stopping in. Leave a comment, whatever. I'll try and answer, well, I will answer them, any questions anyone has. I'm trying to spread the knowledge here. So anyways, it's getting late. I'm getting tired, a little bit frustrated. So I'll catch you all at the next one. Cheers.